Beer, glorious beer, the explosion of breweries in Brookvale, explosion of breweries in general. We're going to talk about it in commercial real estate right now.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Morning,
Bada
morning.
bing, bada bing,
Oh,
bada boom, bada beer.
that's right. Breweries, Brookvale, and all it has to offer. Very exciting little topic this morning for us, Mark, to have a chat about, hey?
Why does it make you happy to talk? Why does it make us happy to talk about this?
It's generally the good booze, the good food, and the good atmosphere these breweries bring. So quite have hit it off, haven't they? A bit of a spot in the market where they've sort of customized each little point, whether it be the homemade brews, the homemade meats, or food they have to offer, and just the overall atmosphere generally with a live band pulls it all together with these breweries.
People love it. We're seeing it in our area. So, northern beaches of Sydney, 110,000 properties, concentration of an industrial area. In Brookvale is our sort of chief industrial area. And then suddenly, all the one brewery turned up, then three, then seven, then like I think there's like 9 or 11 now beer breweries, and they came out of nowhere. Why so popular?
Well, I think it's what I said before. I think it's a real mix of that atmosphere and that food. I mean, I'm not sure if you've been down to one, but I've got a couple of my favourites, and the meats and things like that these breweries put together. But generally, they pair a lot of their drinks as well with the food. So I think it's just something different. If you look at the traditional sit down restaurant,
Mm.
it's a bit more relaxed. I find with all the good food goodies that come along with it. What do you think, Mark?
Well, I look. We did a bit of research this morning on this as well. So the craft beer thing, I think, where they are unique. So instead of having that mainstream, beer that everyone has, you can choose a beer that works for you. And often they're localizing it to their area, which people love. So Brookvale Union is an example of that, where people feel like it's really part of their community because it's called it's Brookvale. Brookvale Union. By the way, it seems to explode everywhere I go. Brookvale Union. I think a big company owns it now, but I think Four Pines started Brookvale Union and they got bought out. But it's. I think people like that local. I did some more research on this. So that community focus, people like that. The food pairing you spoke about, the live entertainment, people love. Um, I love down in one of the breweries in Brookvale. If you bring your dog, you get a free beer. Um, and that's encouraging. Pets.
Mm.
Which is really unusual for a venue to do that. Never really done in any, in a hotel or a pub. It's quite the opposite normally. So they're doing stuff that people want that isn't normally done, and people are just, going in the droves towards it. Um, what's interesting coming from a commercial real estate background is the way they got approved.
Yeah, please explain more.
So I've been to a couple of meetings in relation to the zoning changes within the zoning of Brookvale, and the local industry have an issue with it because they're saying I can't have a restaurant because I don't have the zoning for it because I'm in industrial zoning, but I can have a beer brewery that also produces beer. It does a little bit of food on the side.
Mm.
So and because parking's an issue in Brookvale, but what I love about the breweries is generally when they're open and operating is not when the industrial main area is owning and operating, i.e. on a weekend, on a Saturday and Sunday. If you ever went down to Brookvale previously, it was a ghost town. It was a no man's land, and now and it was parking everywhere. Now the beer breweries are operating on those times. There's parking for everyone, and they're sweating the assets. So when the area is quiet, they're busy. when the area is busy, they're quiet. So it's sort of complementing the area, but it's slipped in under production, under beer production, and that's how they've opened the doors successfully. And then put paired food alongside of it. Really interesting segue into an interpretation of what's allowed in the zoning.
And it's a perfect example. I think we spoke about it a bit, or we speak about it quite a bit with commercial. Is repurposing spaces and things like that to unlock true potential, better yields, and in turn, better yields gives you a better value on your property. So I think that's a really big thing and a great example of how you've got these big commercial properties, you repurpose them, you find a new purpose, you find a demand for them, for a service or product, and that's what really unlocks these investment potentials. So it's quite exciting to see it happen in front of your eyes, because some of these, an example of, if you haven't seen them, Big Don's Meats over in WA, a prime example. These guys put together the bee's knees in terms of spreads. So really exciting stuff.
What's I think what everyone can really pay attention to on here is when you're going in for a approval for operating a premises. If you talk your language, you can often be knocked back on what you desire to be approved within that zoning. If you talk the language of the council and you repurpose it a little bit, you often can get that approval. So I thought it was interesting. I had a lady that was wanting a dog grooming and dog care centre, and got knocked back, and then asked for. She flipped it on its head. She wanted to sell dog products, and that was regarded as retailing. But as soon as she was, I think it was something to do with pets. Oh, what was it now? It's lost me. But anyway, she was doing the same thing, and she adjuncted what she actually wanted to do, aside from what council's purpose was. So I'll give you the example. It's not an accurate one, but it's like that one. So she wanted to sell the dog products, and she wanted to do dog grooming and dog care. One of those categories was allowed, the other two was not. So when she went in on that allowed category, and then she also was selling shampoos and stuff as well, that was allowed. So my message today on the back of this is how a lot of these breweries sort of got through was, it's, if you talk the language that the council wants you to talk in terms of the allowances, what can be done in the area, and then you adjunct, products or services next to that, it's often allowed.
And that research definitely pays dividends in the end, doesn't it, Mark?
Once you go in on the wrong foot, I think it's pretty hard to adjust your footing. You got to go in on the right foot with these approvals.
Yeah, definitely. And if it was, it also, I think, gives you a sort of first to market in the area. I mean, if it was easy, you'd have a lot of competition, but with a lot of these things, finding ways that, getting your approvals and zoning right, it sort of gives you a first to market chance, which is only a good thing for your business and, for potential tenants in the future as well, for any commercial property.
Big time. Now, with breweries, with Brookvale, congratulations to all of them in the area. I think the community is the real winner. If you look at how busy these places are, well done for these guys. Like, these guys have taken a big risk opening these businesses, and staffing's a big cost, and opening these businesses is a massive cost. And they've done well as a result. Community's done well, and as a result, they've done well. So good on you guys. Before we go, is there any other observation you've got on these breweries you want to share? Because I had a couple more.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Well, Well, that's how I found this one in WA. So it definitely
Really?
works, doesn't it? Yeah. I just came across it, and I've
Yeah.
seen me and my mates smoke a bit of meats in our free time. So I was popping on the scroll, and I've seen these tomahawk steaks with these sausages. Their sausages are are literally like a hot dog. They're insane, and then I've just been stuck looking ever since then. So definitely get a bit of inspiration from what they put together, and they do this really cool idea where they basically send out a preset menu on Monday night, Tuesday.
Yeah.
They were only open on a Saturday, and they pretty much sell out their
There it
platters
is. Yeah,
all
there's
ahead of
guys out
time.
west here in Sydney that do that. Yes.
It sells out ahead of time, and then they do they have a homemade brewery there, and then it's like bring your lounge chairs and have a sit to some live music. So it's a great atmosphere, but yeah, sell all ahead of time. I mean, it sells out within 24 hours every week, so there's definitely a big market for it, and it's exciting to unlock these potentials in these properties.
Well, it goes viral, and your local RSL club. You're not really going to put an eye-catching photo up in your local RSL club to go out to the masses. So there is an example of why breweries also do well. Outdoor and hybrid spaces. They have a real crack at doing some crazy outdoor spaces, and that's appealing as well. Our seasonal beers, we spoke about it, and supporting local businesses. I think that's probably the biggest one, supporting local businesses that these breweries have done. They have adjuncted, they've promoted, they've aligned with local businesses in the area and supported these businesses in turn that have supported them. So it's just these local beer breweries, on so many aspects that we've spoken about today, have benefited our community. So well done to the local breweries, particularly the ones in Brookvale.
Up the rookie, yeah. Great work, guys. Like I said, great for Mark said, great for the community, and it's good to see that the risk that they've taken's paid off for them, because we've been able to enjoy great food, atmosphere, and drinks. So thank you again.
Not dangerous either. Like, it's not like there's these big beefy security guards there. These guys they're generally a really safe place to go from what I've seen. I could be wrong, but yeah, I feel pretty safe with your family and kids and pets,
No,
everything.
it's great. Definitely.
Thanks, Mr. Wapshot.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Have a great morning. Have a great day.
Take care. See ya. Bye.